this may be the most opportune time to purchase a home over the next few years. This is your host, Ron Wojciechowski for the Black Hole of Real Estate. And I know it sounds funny to say that because the market has been quiet. It's been prolonged. Everything is taking longer. The interest rates have been a little too high, maybe a lot too high for some people. And for the most part, people are uncertain about the economy and what direction things are going to go, from everything from hurricanes down to government shutdowns. So why is today, or right now, the most critical time for you to think about taking action, and why it may be the best opportunity for you? Well, I think I just listed all the reasons. If you think about it in reverse, when everybody is going in one direction, the smartest and best savvy business investors, well, they go in the other direction. And there's risk involved, there's no question. But let's define your risk. If you've been waiting to move and you've got a super low interest rate and you got to sell a home, and maybe your rate is like 3 or 4%, and you're waiting for the, let's call it a magical number, the interest rate has to hit. Well, let's just suppose that your magical number is 5% instead of 6 or 7%. We're on the verge of hitting that 5% number, and I think we'll be there within the next 2 Fed meetings. And we've talked about that. But what else would I think about? I would think about the fact that maybe, your 3% interest rate really is 3.875. And all of a sudden, the difference between where you are and where you might be, well, it's a little bit smaller. And prices did not go up dramatically or down dramatically in this past year, but they didn't go down in most markets. It means they went up a little bit. Well, what do you think might happen as interest rates get lower and lower and lower at each subsequent Fed meeting? With buyers' purchasing power being greater along that timeline, my suspicion is prices will go up. And I don't believe there's anything out there to refute that, because that's just a natural indication prices have gone up in a tough market, perhaps even a down market. I suspect in a good market, all boats are going to rise. They'll go up some more. So if you're looking for the perfect price, this is going to be a window of opportunity for you to examine and then decide for yourself if the risk, if that's what you want to call it, outweighs the delay, the waiting, the future risk. You see, the price that you might obtain right now, while the market is still relatively quiet, may be better than the one that you can achieve when the market's a lot better and the rates are a lot lower and the economy is really kicking in. So now you're saying, okay, so I could buy now, but will I have to take less now? Well, it depends. Are you going to actually sell your home right now? There are a lot of people that are in a position where they can take a look at purchasing without selling. And this is where it gets really interesting. In a wealth management strategy, what if you kept the current home and you kept the low interest rate, but someone else paid the mortgage for you? So that would be a way to build equity over time, have somebody else pay off the mortgage while you buy the home that better suits your needs for now and for the next several years. You see, then you've got 2 properties appreciating in value at a time where it's likely properties will be going up in value. So now you may have 2. But if you don't have the ability to purchase the next one without selling it and renting it out, and I still think you should look into it and see if you can do it. But if not, then you're trading a little bit of interest rate versus getting the home that you want that better suits your needs today. And you have the ability to refinance. If rates get much lower in the future, most lenders right now, if you're borrowing money, they're doing these rate guarantees where you can actually float down to the new rate, the lower rate, somewhere in the future. They're waiving almost all the lending costs. So there's a real reason right now to examine, is this the most opportune time we're going to see for maybe years to come? I know. Sales pitch, right? Well, let's reverse it. Go back to 2008. 2009, 2010, when no one was buying anything. And the prices were low for a prolonged period of time, just everything was a short sale. Nobody had equity. We can all point back to, boy, look at those prices back in 2012. I wish I'd have bought a lot of homes back then. Well, could we be saying that very same thing 5 or 10 years from today? It's a real possibility. And investors understand this, and they're out there looking to purchase right now, not because prices are going up, but because prices haven't gone up yet in dramatic fashion. And this is where the money is made. I'm not asking you to take a huge financial risk. I'm asking you to think about, is this the time where it makes sense to purchase the next home that I want to live in for the next several years of my life? The home I'm in right now, it absolutely worked for me for a lot of years, and especially when I bought it, it was just right, or it was all I could afford at the time. But now, here's a time where things are different. And now you can have an opportunity to purchase the next home that best suits your needs today and for the foreseeable future, and close the book on the one that you bought years ago. Chances are the home you're in right now doesn't work as well as it did when you bought it. And I want you to think about that. The other side of this is really simple. You can just do nothing, and you can hang on like so many people right now. But those are going to be your competitors when it comes time to finding a home at the exact right time and the exact right interest rate and the right price. You know who's on the sideline right now? Just about everybody. And that won't last forever. And at some point, there's going to be an action step taken by a lot of people, maybe simultaneously. That will also be an indicator that prices could go up. The people on the sideline, those that maybe got married or divorced, blended a family, combined in a home. Some people moved out. One stayed, one left if they got divorced. Maybe a couple extra moved in if you got married. Maybe someone passed on and you were all living in the home together, or you moved into that home. Maybe you just haven't sold it because it's in an estate. You're trying to close it out. You retired. You moved. Maybe you're selling the second home or holding off on doing it. Maybe you're buying the second home. Maybe you're buying your first investment property, getting out of it. You have an Airbnb property that's not producing like it used to. Or maybe you're excited and finally want to get in the game for Airbnb because you're tired of paying rent every time you go on vacation. Whew. Okay, so there's a lot of people that are in suspended animation right now that are not in the market. You know what's going to happen? It's highly predictable. Rates will come down. The economy will improve. And people will start buying houses again at a quicker rate than they have. You only need to look at the fact that there's been about 4 million home sales the last 2 years, when on average it's 5 million. There was a lot of pent-up demand and people waiting on the sidelines. Self-inflicted, self-imposed, but they're not all going to sit on the sidelines forever. And if this is the year where they make the move, and I think it's going to be, there's going to be a sonic boom going off in the marketplace. So would you rather buy in early, even if it's a little bit too early, to get the best possible combination of price and selection, or do you want to wait when everybody else is doing the same thing as you? It's just something to think about it. I'm certainly not telling somebody you should buy or sell today, but I'm asking you to think. Is this the most opportune time that you might see for the next several years? Might just be that. I'll wait for your comments, and you can let me know if I'm right or wrong. I know that time will tell if I'm right or wrong. My suspicion is I think we're on to something here. I hope that helped you guys out in making your decision, especially before the end of the year when people will make decisions, maybe for tax purposes, to sell some homes that they might not want to carry into next year, again, for tax purposes. It's a lot to think about. Let's sort it out together. Hope this helped you out. This is Ron Wojciechowski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.